So next, I'm going to talk about brand positioning, and most people might not even know what that is. So I'm going to hopefully try and explain it, but then also explain why you don't want to be too safe, if that makes sense. So I've just realized how bad my writing is. So brand positioning is how you position your product or service or company in the market versus its competitors. So the example I like to use, because a lot of my customers are in the UK, so I use UK supermarkets, is that you have different companies at different levels. I'm going to quickly draw this out. So we're going to have price and, quality. So when you look at brand positioning for a business, one of the things that's really important to do, it's how you compare yourself to others, and almost then, once you figure out what your niche is, how you choose to fit. So the reason supermarkets are quite interesting is because there's a lot of spread, a lot of people at different levels. But actually, it's something that hopefully a lot of people can almost understand. So if you think about what is a more expensive supermarket that offers very high quality, I'm going to say Waitrose would be a UK example. And then you could actually fill this out. You could have Tesco's and Sainsbury's, etc. But then just to kind of make the point, at the other end of the scale, and nobody's seeing me from Iceland or Farm Foods or whichever, but then you have a lower priced option where the quality maybe isn't quite as good as some other stuff. So I'm going to go here. So go Farm Foods. If you were brought in to be marketing director of Farm Foods, you should really look at, actually, when you're looking to promote yourself and who your target market is, it's probably not the same people as Waitrose. And then what it's really important to do is figure out where you sit in this mix, what makes you special and what's important to your audience. So for instance, for Waitrose, it will all be to do with quality. There is a prestige thing there. And there's a lot of reasons why people buy from a more expensive supermarket. So they rarely play up, and hence they're owned by John Lewis, but they've got that partnership that they know their premium end of the market and you pay a bit more for it. Yeah, if you were brought in to run Farm Foods, you wouldn't try and portray yourself as a Waitrose-esque business because you would struggle. What their buyers are really interested in is price. It's a completely different demographic. They're probably on poorer parts of the country on local high streets, and actually they have much lower selection. But the reason why, when you kind of map this out, you could change price to availability, accessibility, in which case your 24-hour supermarkets would score highly, but then again, so would a petrol station. And in that instance, although petrol stations often do sell food nowadays, it's not great quality, so they really push themselves on convenience. And that's why it's really important that whatever you launch, and I spent a lot of time thinking about this. So with the Roadmap MBA, I spent years kind of writing it, doing my homework, looking at the competition, looking at traditional universities, looking at there are about 5 or 6 other alternative MBA courses out there. And it's really trying to understand your vision, your values, etc. But the reason why I think this is relevant is in the past kind of 9 weeks, I've been doing a lot of kind of consumer testing, because it's when you first get your minimum viable product out there, you send it to people and then start to get feedback. You get a standard deviation graph, which I'll show you what that means, which is almost when you start to get feedback, but then you can learn and improve, so that for version 2, and as you keep kind of iterating and improving, you can help your business keep moving forward too. So actually, I'm going to draw this out. So with anything in life, actually, I didn't need that axis, what you tend to get, so that's called, can you still see me? Only just, so I'm trying to get used to the new studio. So this is a standard deviation curve, and if you look at UK heights in the population, you get some people that are very small, some people that are very tall, and most people are in the middle. For business, this is exactly the same. You will have people that love your product, and you will have people that hate your product. And the trick is, it's about 3% at either end. Then you have, give or take, 12% either side, so it's like 15, and then give or take about 60% of people who are in the middle. The reason why it's really important to get your brand positioning right, and this is something that it was some feedback I actually got last night, and it had been in the back of my mind for a while, was that I think with this, it genuinely is, it's a good business course that will help 90% of people make that next step in their business or career. When I was looking at the positioning, the whole roadmap element, because a roadmap teaches you where to go, and obviously since Boris and that have you started to use it, which is great because it's more in the kind of common language. But then when I was looking at there are 5 or 6 other alternative MBA courses out there. There's Seth Godin's got one. There's one called the Power MBA. There's the mini MBA marketing with Mark Ritson, which is very good, but it's just about marketing. But there are a lot of people that do it, and I thought, well, actually, why shouldn't I? Follow the same track, because what you're looking to do, and yes, it's certified by the CPD, but it's how you want people to, when people think about an MBA, they think premium quality business education. Alternative MBAs are an alternative to that, which are generally cheaper. A lot of them are online that help you do that. So that's what I was going for. But the one thing that kind of stuck in the back of my mind, and I knew it as well, was that with some people who, for me, were falling about here. Most people got the course and they loved it, and like, content's great, I like the idea, etc. But I did get some people that just hated the concept and the fact that I was doing what other people have done with the branding about the roadmap MBA. And I thought, fair point, because for me and everything that I try and do is I try to do high quality, I try and do the best I can, hence why all of the effort with this. But actually what I didn't want to do is have anything within my brand which almost still triggered people that aren't going to like it anyway. So from this morning, I've updated all my stuff that this is an alternative MBA course. The idea is that if you've got 20 grand in 2 years to spend on a proper one, do it, they're fantastic. But if you don't, if you've got a real business to run, or you're in your career and you've got a family life and you're looking to just make that next step forwards, the alternative courses are very, very good. Obviously I've got one, but the point is, I'm now going to embrace that a lot more. That yes, I'm also going through like an update to my brand and stuff as well, but you will see me call it more and be more open that it's an alternative MBA product, and it's the roadmap alt-MBA. I probably will just call it the roadmap in general kind of conversation just because it's easier. But actually what was interesting was just for my own brand positioning, when you were getting customer feedback, I always had that niggle at the back of my mind, and after the feedback from Chris yesterday, and I'd had it before, I thought it's a fair point. So I've now embraced that, and this is again part of my next kind of learn and iterate. But again, for your business too, you're always going to have people that love you, and you're going to have people that hate you. The trick is to really understand, if you are a recruitment company, and recruitment is notoriously competitive and very kind of difficult, you kind of need to, in my opinion, you need to embrace who you are, what you do, what you're good at, and what makes you unique. And the thing is, even if some people don't like that approach, it's really important, because the worst thing you ever want to do is that you basically have a sliding scale between safe but dull, and then risk. When you're looking about how you sell and promote yourself, if all you ever do is super safe, chances are you're not promoting yourself as well as you could, because what you're doing there is that you're making sure that you don't offend anyone, which is fine and it's honourable. But the trick is, you could also become forgettable. What a lot of people do and should do is look at how far you can push it towards here, that where you resonate with your core audience to get a core offer which some people resonate with, and you're memorable and you stand out, and because everything is such a crowded marketplace. And what I was doing was testing the boundaries on this, and I think, I'll be honest, I think I pushed it maybe a bit too far, and I've dropped back a bit. So it's almost, my point is, and the reason why I like to do this on the course, it's almost just, I'm a real person too, and this is a real business, and I'm doing this live, as you can kind of see. But actually, these are lessons that you could also learn, that if you're a copywriter or you do whatever your business is, never play it too safe with your positioning and also how you kind of promote yourself to the market. Because if you play too safe, nobody will know who you are and nobody will care. You can go too risky, which is fine if you've got a very niche product which is built on that. But for most people, you want to keep your core audience and get them involved without pushing it too far. And this was something that I learned, I've been testing consciously for the past few weeks. It was last night I decided to make the change. And then as you kind of move forward, you'll see me gradually learn and iterate.